Hi everybody. Today's Tuesday, July 28th. This is actually my second video today. So I thought I would come on and do a Christmas in July before it is over. I wanted to do a card with you today using some old product and some of the new product that is going to be available August 4th in the new catalog. So this is the new catalog. I can't show you the inside yet until August 4th, but if you are interested and you do not have a demonstrator and you would like one, please let me know and I will get you one. So we're going to be using some of the new product from in here and some old and current product that I already have. Okay. Today we are going to be making this card. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. And then it's going to open this way, and you can fill it out, do whatever you want with it, write a message, we can stamp the inside. That's what's great about making your own card. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so this is what we're going to make today. Okay, so let me zoom in a little bit. What you're going to need is you're going to need a piece of green cardstock. And if you notice, I cut it differently, okay? So this is actually going to measure 4 1/4 this way by 11 this way. And we are going to fold it in half. Get my bone folder out, give that a nice little crease. Okay, so our card is going to open this way instead of this way. But you could do it however, whatever way you would like. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White. And I'm actually going to put this inside the card so it's a little bit easier for me to write on and for me to see. So I'm just going to take some of my adhesive. And give it a little, and put this inside. And then what I'm going to do is I'm using a couple of different stamp sets tonight. I'm using the Warm Hug stamp set, which is new in the new holiday catalog. I'm also using the Ornamental Envelopes stamp set, which is also new in the catalog. So we're going to be using this stamp from this set. We're going to be using this heart from this stamp set. Okay. And then we're going to be using Christmas Means More stamp set, which is new in the new holiday mini catalog. And we're going to be Maybe Christmas Perhaps Means a Little Bit More. So those are the stamp sets that we're using. So I'm going to take my stamp and some of my old olive ink, and I'm actually going to stamp the inside of this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off first and then stamp again to make it a little bit lighter. So you can see it's not as dark as this one down here. Kind of gives it a little bit of a lighter look to it. So I just call that stamping off. All right, and now I can decorate my card. All right, so I'm going to take a piece of Night of Navy, and I'm going to cut it, and this one measured 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so 3 1/4 this way, 5 1/4 this way. And I'm actually going to run it through an embossing folder. This is an old, I don't believe this is in the new catalog. It's called Winter Snow. And if you can see it, it has snowflakes. So I'm going to run this through my embossing machine. And I do have a smaller one. I don't have the big shot. It's just sometimes easier with the embossing folders to run this through. So I'm just gonna run this through this way. We do have new embossing, we do have a new die cut machine coming out soon. Demonstrators can order it August 4th, I believe. Customers will have to wait just a little bit longer. So you can see, it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but you can see that it is now textured, has those snowflakes on it. Okay, so I'm going to take that, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm giving myself probably 1/8, maybe 1/4 of an inch on each side, and I'm going to adhere that to the right side of my card. Turn this so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, so now we have that, and now I have this space over here, which I'm going to take a piece of this designer series paper. This paper is from the new catalog as well, and it's called Brightly Gleaming. So I'm going to take a piece of this, which is about 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And I'm going to adhere that to my card. And I'm going to overlap this piece of designer series paper just a little bit on the blue that I have here, so I have that, whoops, that seam border going around my card. Okay? Alright, now, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, we have some new ribbon in the new catalog, all the trimmings ribbon combo pack, and it has this really pretty red and green, and today we're going to use the green along with, I think this ribbon is still in the catalog, I have to double check that. This ribbon is the polka dot tulle ribbon, and I just love the way it goes with the colors. So I'm going to take my ribbon, and I'm going to kind of layer the green on top of the white, and I'm just going to make sure I give myself enough room because I am going to wrap it around my card. So I'm just going to take my ribbon, and I'm going to wrap it around my card. And I'm going to tie it like so. Now I'm not going to worry about where I'm placing it right now because I will adjust it after I get it tied. So I want to pull it tight enough that it stays, but enough that I can actually play with it and move it around. So then I'm actually going to take my ribbon, trim it, do the same thing on this side. This around so I can see it, and you may have to play with it a little bit just to get, there we go, get it the way you want it. I'm going to trim that too. Put my ribbon aside, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide this down a little bit to about here where I think I want it. Okay, and then I may play with this a little bit more just to get it laying flat. Oh, perfect. Okay, so there is your card. Move in a little bit so you can see it. Okay. All right, so now we have the card, so we need to decorate it. So I'm going to take my, maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more, and my old olive ink, and I am going to ink up my pad and my stamp, and I am actually going to use this mat. When we have photopolymer stamps, it sometimes needs a little bit more support, and I'm going to stamp this a little bit in the center here so I have enough room. I'm going to try to cut that out. Let me just make sure it's totally inked here. Okay. So I'm going to press this down. Oh, that didn't come out. So let's try again. Sometimes with these ink pads, they're so juicy that they... Oh, that's much better. I'm afraid to put a little too much ink on it. I'd rather have a little less than it be messy. So that came out great. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Stampin' Blends and I'm going to color in the little holly and leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to take the fine tips. These markers have a fat tip and a fine tip. I'm going to take my fine tip and just color those leaves in. Do both sets. And then I'm going to take my red, color those berries in. Okay, and now I am going to cut this out. So we're going to use the Celebration dies, Celebration label dies. These are in the new catalog as well. Again, it comes out August 4th. And your dies are not going to come on this magnetic strip. I buy these and I put them on just so it's a little bit easier for me. But I'm going to take the second one in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it sideways and cut it out like this. Okay, so what I'm going to trim my paper just so it's a little bit easier to work with. And I'm going to bring in my, normally I would do this on the big shot, but for video purposes I'll just use this and hope it works. So I will grab my sheets and I'm going to make a sandwich. Okay, so I'm going to put my die on top, and I am going to take a piece of tape and just hold this. If I was on the big shot, it would be the magnetic plate which would hold it in place, but it doesn't. I don't. Since I'm not using that, I want to make sure that this doesn't move. So I'm just going to put a little piece of tape on there. Okay, so I want my black plate, my shim, this. Put this in. Let's see if this is thick enough that it will. Nope, I need. All right, I'm just going to run this through the big shot real quick. Stand by. So when I ran it through the big shot, you can see it pops out nicely. Get rid of my tape here. When you do this, you do want to use washi tape so it doesn't stick to your project. Put my die back on here. Okay, so I have my Christmas means a little bit more. I'm going to bring back my card. And I'm going to kind of play with the ribbon again and see where I want this. And I'm going to attach this with some dimensionals. So I'm going to put a few dimensionals. I like to put a dimensional in the center just so it doesn't concave and look funny. I'm going to take the backings off of these. I'm going to lay this right about here. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'll bring back my white piece again. And I want to stamp a couple of hearts to go on the top. So I'm going to make sure I use the right color, not the green. All I use to clean my stamps is this little chamois Stampin' Up! Sells it, but you could use a paper towel, wet paper towel. Just make sure that no, you know, it doesn't come off on your stamp, any of the fibers. That's why I like this, or even a wet sponge that is kind of like this material. Works great. So I'm going to take my Real Red and I'm going to stamp 2 hearts. Okay, I'll leave a little space in between them so when I cut them out. Alright, and now what I'll do is I will bring in the Big Shot to show you how this works. So I might have to zoom out a little bit. Okay, so this is the Big Shot. I have a magnetic plate, a bottom layer, put that in there. I'm going to put my image on there. And I'm going to cut this out. What's nice about these stamp sets is that they have the dies, the matching dies to cut them out. So here is Warm Hugs. And as you can see, it has the heart die, so I don't have to fussy cut or cut anything out, which is fabulous. Okay, so I'm just going to line this up. If your plate is jumping a little bit, you might have to flip it. Okay, line that up. Put the top plate on. I am going to put a piece of washi. I feel like that's going to move on me. Okay, we're going to run it through the Big Shot. So there we have 1 heart. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to do the next heart, line it up. I'm going to put that tape down. It's moving a little bit. And run this one through. Like I said, this we do no longer sell. We are getting a new cutting machine that cuts and embosses, so I'll be looking forward to that. Alright, so we have our second heart. Just going to kind of get this out of the way. Okay, so let's bring our card back in and our hearts. I'm going to put a little adhesive on the back of the heart. Add it to the front of my card. Again, do the same thing. Hi, Susan. Hope you're feeling well. Okay, so then I have the front of my card almost done. What I'm going to do is we are selling these iridescent pearls, and they have a lot of shimmer to them, and they have all different colors in here, blues and reds and greens. So I'm going to take my pick tool. Hey Lori, how's it going? How's retirement, girl? I'm going to put one here and put one on here, and within a matter of a few minutes you have a Christmas card all ready to go and a head start on Christmas for this year. If you have any questions, or if you want to buy any of these products or purchase any of the cards that I make, please let me know. You can PM me or give me a call. I'd love to hear from you. I hope everybody's well. Thanks, Susan. Thanks. It's a fun card. I just threw it together today, but it's definitely fun and easy. All right, guys. Everybody have a great evening, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.